Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. Sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. Sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. What do I mean? You find a person who they lack confidence. They lack confidence in social settings. So they drink alcohol so that they can go to the club. They drink alcohol so that they, when they go out on dates. And in the short term, the alcohol consumption reduces their inhibitions and they're able to apparently show up more fully, right? Apparently show up more confident. But then it becomes a dependency and they never fully develop that internal sense of confidence. And so every time they want to go out, every time they're on a date, then they have to drink. And then it may even degenerate to the point that they're just drinking like all the time, or they're just drinking more than is healthy, right? And they become some kind of an alcoholic. People are functional alcoholics, and some people become, like totally debilitated. But you get the idea that a person can start off drinking alcohol just to lower their inhibitions so that they can appear to be more confident and less stressed out, right? So that's an obvious instance wherein the cure or the treatment, the intervention, is worse than the actual condition, right? So a similar thing happens within the practice of Orisha lifestyle, okay? A person is lacking confidence, and the person is lacking confidence fundamentally because they have a weakened sense of identity. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where you're going. You don't know why you're here. You're just feeling like you're a victim, right? You're subject to everything that's going on. Anytime you go into a different environment, you change your whole mode of operation. You're with this person and you talk one way. You're with another person, you talk a whole different way. You're with this group of people and you behave like so. Then when you go into another people, it's totally contradictory. And then in the end, you're lost in the sauce. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where you're going. Okay? And so you want to compensate for that by identifying with Shango. You want to identify with Oshun. You want to identify with your Odu. You want to identify with this title, right? But in reality, that's just a booster. That's just something that's a filter for you to see yourself through, or a filter for you to see the world through, or certain circumstances. It doesn't define who you are. You haven't really solved your problem. And so you start off with the first shrine, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. You got one set of beads and another set of beads and another, and then you're just accumulating and you're accumulating and you're accumulating and you're taking on more and more of a different kinds of personas, right? Personas are masks, but you're not actually getting to the root of who you are and why you're here. You're just putting on another layer and another layer and another layer with the hopes that one of these layers is going to free you up and put you in contact with your true essence. Okay? And so this is why I approach the practice and the tradition the way that I do, because I found so many instances, and to be completely honest, it has gotten to the point that it's the norm now. It's the norm. It's just a foregone conclusion that a person will come to the Babalawo, they'll go to the Olorisha, they'll have a reading, and they'll get an Odu, they'll be, prescribed an Orisha, they get initiated to that Orisha, and they really think that that's it. I am this. And it's not the case. It just isn't the case. And so it becomes another kind of an addiction. Okay? It becomes another kind of an addiction. And so your religion, which was supposed to be liberating you, ends up being another form of bondage. And it is worse than your original condition, because now you've complicated your life. You've complicated your life with all of these different obligations. You've complicated your life with publicly associating yourself with one thing or another and acting out in certain ways. And you know within your heart that nothing is actually happening, but you're addicted now, and you've got to keep it going. And like all kinds of addiction, you're also trying to get back to that original exhilaration, right? As they would call that first high, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The only remedy, the only solution to your problem is to slow down and go inward. It's the only solution to your problem. You've got to slow everything down. Sometimes you got to just pause, and you got to go inward, and you got to discover yourself. You got to see yourself for who you really are. You got to understand yourself for what you really came here with. There's certain things that you need to know and understand that no one needs to add on to it. You already got it. What is it that you know you have? And who do you know that you are beyond the shadow of a doubt? That's where you need to start. And then all the other things that you do are going to add. They're going to enhance. They're going to enrich. They're going to refine. They're going to strengthen the thing that is really fundamentally true about who you are and what you're here to do. So that's the essence and the nature of my work, right? Throughout all the publications, the books that I've written, if you go to any one of my books, and you read them carefully, you're going to see that I'm pointing you inward all the time, right? There's no fluff. There's no sensationalism. I'm not doing any of that. I'm trying to give you something that is crystal clear, okay? Not oversimplified, but just really clear, so that it functions as a mirror, or if not a mirror, a practice and a methodology that will systematically take you inward to discover yourself and appreciate yourself and be real about yourself, right? Likewise, you go through all of the courses that I've done, the work that I'm doing right now fundamentally in the School of Orisha Studies. They all point to self-discovery, self-mastery, right? And acquiring the skills, the methodologies, acquiring the materials and the equipment that you need to exercise your natural gifts and talents and show up for the people who you're destined to serve, right? So if this interests you, if you understand the value, if you've already taken that road where you've acquired and accumulated some addictive personality traits and some addictive habits that you're clear aren't working for you, but you want to really lead yourself to a higher level, you want to lead yourself to a more authentic experience, then I invite you to find out how Obafemi Origunwa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's take it to the next level. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.